Dude, this thing is not standing on anything safe. Like, if that phone falls, it's gonna like fuck everything up. So I'm gonna move it away from my laptop so it doesn't do that. All right. Hello y'all, it's me again. Sorry it's been so long since I've done one of these videos. I know I say that every time, but the last video I made, I talked about 3 movies that really weren't that good. And with this one, I've seen a lot of movies up until that point from this year. So here I am doing yet again another catch-up video. And with that being said, let's go straight into it. So the first film I want to be talking about is the new Disney Plus film, Hocus Pocus 2. Now, the reason why I saw this movie is because the original is quite dear to me. It's a film that I saw every year that my mom introduced to me as a kid. Every Halloween, we'd watch it together, and it's kind of fun. It's a really fun movie. It's dumb, it's ridiculous, it's cheesy, it's dated, it's from the 90s, but it's still fun to watch. With this second one, there was a lot of hype going into it because, wow, after all these years, will they look the same? Will they have the same mannerisms? Will it capture the essence and the magic of the original? And I think for the most part it did. Now, I know a lot of people probably aren't into the new characters or don't like that the cat's not in the movie. Specifically, some of the kids in my screenwriting class hate that shit. But honestly, it makes no sense for that character to be in the movie. Thackeray already had his closure in the original. I think it's cool that they didn't do anything with that in this one. But overall, I still thought it was a lot of fun. It did a great job sort of putting these witches from way back into today's society and just seeing how they react to stuff. I also was quite a fan of the opening. I like sort of the backstory of the Sanderson sisters and seeing how they worked and interacted with each other back when, like way back when. And it was a cute introduction that honestly had me very engaged. And despite me saying all these incredible things about it, I do think the film is kind of forgettable in the sense that it doesn't really do much new. You don't have to ever watch this movie and you could still appreciate the original, or you could watch this new one and find a lot more to appreciate about it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's not the best thing ever. It's definitely cheesy, but the ending ended on a pretty good note. And I know it feels kind of quick, and yes, the ending was kind of like, oh, let's rush all this into that and make this sort of like this arc. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it for the most part. It's, again, not the best thing I've seen all year. It's flawed heavily. And the biggest factor to this being a lower score than a higher one is just the fact that there's a lot more it could have done. But with what it had and what it did, considering what it was, I had a lot of fun watching it. And for that reason, I'm going to have to give it a 6 out of 10. A pretty high 6 out of 10. I gave it a 7 when I first saw it. But, you know, it's not the best thing ever. It's flawed, but it was a lot of fun. And I had a lot of fun watching it. So go check it out and see what you think. The next film I want to talk about is Entergalactic. Now, this is the new animated Kid Cudi movie, basically animating and creating a story of an album that he created. And to be honest with you, it took a while for me to like this one. Now, I did essentially like it, not that much, but the movie does such a poor job at getting us interested. The animation is all spectacular, and the spectacle of everything being shown in the animation is like perfect. Very well done. Very, very Into the Spider-Verse. But unlike Into the Spider-Verse, this film takes forever to get its point across and to have its story begin because it's way too focused on showing us visuals and playing a song and showing us more visuals. It feels like an extended music video rather than a film. But, you know, after 30 minutes, which is a pretty long time, the film story actually does something and goes somewhere, and that's when the movie becomes more engaging and something that I actually had a lot of interest in, related somewhat to, and found to be essentially really cute. This is a romance movie at the end of the day, and having all the voice actors that they had for this movie and having sort of the characters look similar or close enough to the actors playing them was really cool. But again, the music just wasn't that good. I wasn't a fan of the music at all. I thought it was actually pretty bad, and it took a lot of punch and emotion away from already such stunning and emotional scenes. I wish this was just the movie. It would have been cool hearing maybe 1 or 2 of his songs in the movie, but this needed a score, not some soundtrack. This isn't an Estella 5555 where the whole movie is based around the music. I mean, it's trying to be, but it's not effective in that sense. And for that reason, I'm gonna have to give Entergalactic a low 6 out of 10. Again, by the end, I feel that my time was well spent, but it takes a while to get there, and that's essentially a problem. But again, go check it out, see what you think, and yeah, on to the next one. Tar. I loved this movie, y'all. So this is a movie about a composer who lives in Germany, who is one of the best composers of all time. As the film goes on, you're seeing a symphony, or I guess a piece, being conducted and written by Cate Blanchett's character. And Cate Blanchett is so good in this movie. If Cate Blanchett doesn't at least get a nomination for this movie, I'll fucking riot. I'm saying it right now. This was one of the most impressive movies I've seen all year, not only for how it's filmed, not only because of how the story is told, but without spoiling it, this film goes into a very relevant and very dark subject matter. Not quick, but the film, despite being 2.5 hours long, or maybe even more, it went by so quickly, and it felt like a timeless film. There was maybe one scene where it went by a little too slow, but that's the only gripe I have with this movie. The ending, the 3-act structure, and Cate Blanchett's character, and how she affects others, and how others affect her. It's incredible watching this movie. I do not want to say more because I'm really trying to sell you on it without spoiling what the plot is about. I feel like knowing what the plot is about, this experience could potentially be ruined for you. So if you do decide to watch any trailer or want to see anything about it before then, only watch the teaser trailer, not the new one. The teaser, where not much is shown but enough is given to show the spectacle of what this film has and what it accomplishes. It was one of the best movies I've seen all year. I am very impressed with this one, and I'm very excited to watch it once more. I'm giving Tar a very high 9 out of 10. It very much deserves that, and it's one of the best movies I've seen all year. Go check it out, see what you think. It was awesome. All right, so the next one I'm going to be talking about is Barbarian. So I saw Barbarian the same day I saw Tar, but this time, it was a different experience because this is a completely different movie, and this was a weird movie. If you ask me what I thought about it right after watching it, I don't think I would have had an answer as to whether or not I liked it. I know I liked it, but I didn't know by how much, because this is a fucking weird movie. And I say that with all the grace, and with my personality and all the shit that I've put out and all my favorite movies, this is a weird fucking movie. This is another one I don't want to say too much about, because if you know too much going into it, you're gonna probably not get the same experience that me and my little sisters did. But this is a ride. This is a trip. This is one of the fucking most bizarre things I've seen all year. This was a hell of an experience. I love that this movie was as successful as it was, and it's weird seeing stuff like this being put out by 20th Century Studios. Like, that's Disney. They put a lot of risk making this a theatrical release, but a lot of people seem to really engage with it and like it because it's nuts. This is one of the most creative things I've seen all year. It's one of the strangest and grossest movies I've seen all year, but give it a chance, see what you think. It is a very well done horror movie. It's a great thriller. It's nuts. And if you like that, if you like nuts, then go check this one out. I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. Clerks III. So I really like the Clerks movies. At least the first one I loved. The second one I thought was fine. And Kevin Smith, for the most part, has a pretty impressive catalog. I haven't finished Dogma, but what I've seen so far is very impressive and is definitely stuck in my mind. I really like Chasing Amy, despite being very flawed and very dated. It's definitely a film that tells its story in my opinion, a really good way. I like the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back film, and I even enjoyed the reboot. I had a lot of fun with these characters. I've grown up with these characters, and to see them come together once again from where it all started, and seeing such a personal story to Kevin Smith be told with these characters that he basically invented and that are in a way a part of him and a part of a lot of the people who saw the movie and the fan base behind these movies. This had potential to be one of the best sequels ever created, and as Mark Kermode explains it, it feels like a home movie that should have stayed a home movie. I wanted to love this one, but like 15 minutes in, I was rolling my eyes with the blatant references, with all the nerd humor, and not that that stuff isn't cool. That's kind of the charm that made the original so great, and I like how emotional and personal this movie is compared to the other ones. This is straight up a heartbreaking film, but it just feels a little too glossy, a little too polished, and a little fake. It feels like a fan film, but it's created by Kevin Smith, which is why I'm harder on it, because essentially the ending says a lot and takes a lot of risks, but there's so much filler of either unfunny jokes or jokes that go on too long, or characters doing this thing or characters doing that thing. And besides the emotion from the actors, which was all there and very well done, I couldn't really find myself enjoying this one as much as his other films. And again, it felt like all this fan service and it felt like a fan-made movie, and that's pretty fucking bad considering how incredible the original was with much less of a budget than what this one had. It was cool seeing a lot of the actors from the original show up in this one. I liked hearing some of the references, and the ending for the most part was pretty well done and was probably one of the best ways he could have ended this, I guess, trilogy. But I'm sorry, Kevin, as personal as this movie is to you, it just feels like a fan-made movie. And if this works for you, great. If you've seen it and you like it, that's awesome. I really wanted to like it more than I did, but I couldn't really find much to enjoy about it besides some of the factors to it and seeing some of the original footage. And yeah, that being said, I'm really sad to say that I'm giving this one a 5 out of 10. I wanted to like it a lot more, but I just didn't. And for that reason, I think it deserves this score. Bros. So this is the new gay rom-com film directed by the same guy who made Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which stars and is partially written, I think, by Billy on the Street, or Billy Eichner's, he's, his real name. And this film was getting a lot of hype because not only is this like a first mainstream super gay comedy, but with Billy Eichner being in it, a lot of people were either excited or worried about how it'll represent the LGBTQ community. And that aside, how was the movie? Because I'll get into that stuff later. I thought it was all right. There were some moments that just felt a little too long. Again, this is produced by Judd Apatow, so there's bound to be some moments where the film could have gone a lot quicker, but it didn't. And that's really annoying to see. There were also some scenes where there were some character breaking moments, and I'm just like, why is this character doing that? Or why is this character suddenly doing this? Like it just felt like certain things happen so that the plot chart can continue going. So we have that drama moment, and then they split up moment, and then they get back together moment. Like it's a rom-com, it's stupid, but I have a soft spot for stuff like this. So at the end of the day, I overall enjoyed the movie, but it's very bare bones, very playing it safe while also doing a lot of stuff that has never been done in a comedy, which I do commend the movie for. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to be rewatching this one. I like rom-coms for the most part, but this one's fairly unspecial and fairly uneventful that honestly I should probably give this a lower score, but because overall I enjoyed it and I thought the ending was really cute, I'm keeping this one at a 6 out of 10. It was perfectly fine. Again, going into the LGBTQ politics, I don't know. I didn't really find it offensive, but I could see how certain people could think it's pandering or exaggerated. But yeah, it was fine, and it's just cool to see stuff like this being shown in theaters with all the homophobia going on in the world right now. So I don't know. I guess I enjoyed it. 6 out of 10. Smile. Yeah, I saw Smile. I will say this. At least I was entertained, but god damn it, man. This movie hates wine glasses. No, but in all seriousness, this feels like a student film with a higher budget. And by that, I mean a lot of the writing in the movie and a lot of the reasons as to why certain things happen feel like a student film. Again, I'm taking a screenwriting class at the moment, but I don't know. It feels very weird that this movie has the budget it does with the backing of a studio that it does and has reached so many people as much as it has, because God, this movie was cheesy. Let me say straight up, I thought the movie for the most part was a comedy because what it's trying to do to scare you was not at all effective towards me, and even the main character was just the most annoying and unlikable person in the world. I should somewhat be caring about her, and I know there's like a redemption arc near the end that the audience is supposed to feel. I didn't care. I didn't care for anything going on in the movie, and if anything, I was rooting for the curse because I was getting so bored with anything that wasn't that in the movie that I feel like
psychopath
trying to watch it. And going back to like the film feeling like a student film, a lot of the writing, like there's a lot of unnecessary cussing in the movie. And normally, listen, profanity is nothing I care about in movies, I swear to God. But When you're at a children's birthday party and you're saying fuck 600 times.
Somebody please fucking believe me. What the fuck? Leave me the fuck alone.
What are you doing? There's just some scenes where it feels like an early draft of a student film. Like there's this diner scene where it just feels like it was written by a teenager, where she literally tells the older couple to shut the fuck up. And I'm like, no.
No.
Any sane, normal person that should be liked in a movie wouldn't say something like that. What are you talking about? And yeah, besides that, some of the CGI stuff in this movie, like there's a scene with security camera footage and you see CGI blood. It looks like ketchup, dude. Like this stuff is pretty fucking bad. And again, like some of the aspects of the ending and some of the transitions and some of the twists I actually really enjoyed. Again, this movie kept my attention and kept me entertained, but for all the wrong reasons. I wasn't scared. I didn't like the main character. I didn't care about the situation, and the curse wasn't scary. It was lame. The eeriness to the smile from the background or from certain characters was eerie, but it provides a temporary scare. This isn't gonna keep me up at night because it was stupid. And I really wanted to like it more, but I just couldn't. And I don't think I'll ever be watching this one again. I thought it was perfectly fine. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I just didn't really like it. And for that, I'm gonna have to give it a 5 out of 10. Pearl. So I don't know if I have reviewed X on this channel before. I might have. I literally don't remember, but in case I haven't, I'm just gonna go over that real quick. It's very cheesy, filmed very much like a 70s horror movie. It feels a little too amateur to be an A24 movie, but that being said, it was a lot of fun. It was stupid, it was gory, but I really enjoyed it, and I gave that one a 7 out of 10. Pearl is a sequel to that I was not looking forward to because I wasn't that much of a fan of the original X. So I was like, oh, I don't really need to see this, but came out, lo and behold, I saw it, and this movie's really good. I did not expect this one to be that good, but Mia Goth, just, wow, man, Mia Goth was so good in this movie. She was as charming, cute, and charismatic as she was terrifying, creepy, and the most psychopathic character you've ever seen in a movie. The ability to put all that into a character and still make you somewhat care about the character takes a lot. And without spoiling anything, that ending, my oh my, that is a way to end a movie. It was filmed a lot better than X because obviously it's a different time period and it's going to be filmed differently, which I thought was a really cool stylistic choice from Ty West. You could tell that Mia Goth had a lot of control over this script. It's partially written by her. I think her and Ty West both wrote it together, and it shows. It really feels like she has a grasp on this character who has such a tragic story. It feels very much like a female Joker, but in all the great ways that made Joker a great film. This was very impressive. It didn't do a lot, but with what it did, it managed to impress me beyond and above, and I thought it was better than X quite a lot. I'm not going to give this a much higher score, again, because it's still somewhat cheesy. It has some dumb moments, and there were some moments that probably could have been slightly modified. Like there's one kill that I thought was kind of unsatisfying until it later on became satisfying. Call me crazy, I swear to God I'm not. But that being said, it's a fun movie. Oh, I overall really enjoyed it, and it's better than its counterpart. So that being said, I'm gonna have to give Pearl an 8 out of 10. It was a very fun movie. Oh shit, the flag fell down.
Flashback.
It's like a 70s horror movie. It feels a little too amateur to be an A24 movie. And yeah, that being said, go check these movies out, or don't. Definitely check out Pearl, Barbarian, and Tar. Those were really good. But yeah, sorry it took me so long to make one of these videos. Again, school, busy, you get the gist. But yeah, look forward to more videos coming out soon as I watch more movies. That being said, thank you all so much for watching. Feel free to like this video if you want. If not, you don't have to. And yeah, that being said, stay safe, stay awesome, and go watch a movie. Later. All right, let's turn that off.
じっとすぐ帰るけどお家の枕が恋しいな